Hey everyone, it's Jenna from Canadian Beats Media. I'm joined today by Manitoba-based country artist Quinton Blair for our latest segment of 5 Qs. Welcome, Quinton.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So first off, care to introduce yourself a bit more in depth for our listeners?
Yeah, well, I live in a place called Landmark, Manitoba, which is the geographical center of Canada. If you're going down Highway 1, there's a bunch of Canadian flags right along the highway, and that's my road. Maybe I probably shouldn't tell everybody that, but it's country music from the heart of the country is really what it is. So
So you're about to release your single Someday Sunday. Could you tell us a bit about the inspiration behind the upbeat feel-good country tune?
yeah, I mean, really what it's about is like, we're kind of all in those situations in our life where we've got those people around us that we love and we always want to kind of, hey, one day I want to do that, or one day this is going to happen. And I think all too often we take that for granted that we're going to always have that time available. So
Mhm.
someday Sunday is about kind of like, we always said one day we were going to do that. Well, today is that one day. So that's
Mhm.
kind of what seizing the moment with the ones that you love is kind of really the message of the song.
Okay. You worked with Pete Lesperance on the production of the single. How did that partnership come about, and how was the experience working with him?
Pete's great. Pete's based in Toronto. He's got a different background. I've worked with him in the past, and we're working on new stuff in the future as well.
Mhm.
So, what I really like about working with Pete is he comes from a very different background. I'm a very kind of uh, I know the roots of country music and that's really important to me. And so, having stuff that is country and just understanding the genre and all the different nuances to it. But Pete comes to it from a completely different perspective. And I was a little bit skeptical when I first started working with Pete. And then he blew me away with our song $20 Bottle, what he came up with.
Mhm.
And again, on this one on Someday Sunday, because Pete's got a background. He's played in a band called Harem Scarum. So they've toured the world
Mhm.
in a hair metal band, melodic rock kind of thing. And um, he brings that understanding of melody or a more complex understanding of melody and harmony to the songs. And so I love kind of getting to sit back and let him watch him work his magic because it's just fantastic to get to work with him. And yeah, it's just a different, you know, a different view of country music than the view
Yeah,
that I'm traditionally used to, and I love it. So I love working with Pete. He's such a good guy.
that's awesome. So you co-wrote the single with Jason McCoy. Can you share a bit with us about the creative journey behind this collaboration?
Yeah, so Jay and I have known each other for, a number of years. We've gotten to work with the Roadhammers on many occasions, and we've just kind of become friends through the years. And we were talking, he was hosting the Manitoba Country Music Awards one year, and we were chatting because he's got a daughter who's into horses, and I've got a daughter who's into horses. So we're like, oh, we should write a tune about being a dad and do a horse girl kind of thing. And we were kind of, just kicking around that idea a little bit. And then when we jumped on the call, we were like, okay, what else? What else have we got to work on here? And I just threw out that idea and what about that someday Sunday kind of idea, and we just jumped on it and went to town. And I mean, writing with Jason is, it's kind of like you sit there and you're just kind of like your jaw drops. I'm like, I feel like this guy's written 10,000 songs in his life, and that's because he's written 10,000 songs in his life and he understands, the process. And it's he's one of my favorite guys to co-write with. We've got other tunes coming out too that we've written together. So it's pretty great. Pretty great guy to work with.
Okay. So you've accumulated over 1 million digital streams.
Sweet.
That's a lot. um, how do you navigate the ever-changing landscape, particularly in the digital realm? Like, how does it connect to make it connect with your audience?
I'm so that's a very funny question to get because I feel like I can never do enough or understand algorithms or understand like the process. And I'm always like, you always have to be putting out content, and I understand that, but I don't want to be the guy that lives like this all the time. And is
Hmm.
always,
Yeah.
every time I have a few seconds, I'm posting something or I'm doing whatever on social media, and I try hard to be present in the lives of those around me. And it's not necessarily my goal to be that involved into social media, but I know that you have to be a part of everything digital if you want to try to earn market share, which is what we're here to do. So,
Hmm.
you try to find things and ways to connect with people. And a lot of the stuff that I'm doing is just me being me, like I'm into, going into the woods and camping, or I love, hiking in the mountains, or I love, camping with my horses, or working in the community pastures, or whatever kind of stuff that I'm into. It's like the stuff that hits my social media feed is just me being me.
Hmm.
Um, and so it's not really contrived, and I should probably post more of what I do, but it's a balance of, like I said, trying to figure out how do you connect and make meaningful connections with the people who like your music, but without kind of sacrificing your ability to live in the moment and be a part of what's happening around you as well. So
Hmm.
it's a trade-off, and I always wish that I had someone else doing it for me, but the reality is if someone else does it for you, it doesn't sound like you. So
No.
it's just best if you buckle down and get the work done yourself.
Yeah, and sharing the real life experiences that you enjoy is a good way
Hmm.
to do that, definitely.
Hmm.
So, looking ahead, what are your plans for the future in your music career? Are there any specific goals or project you're currently excited about?
There's lots. There's lots. The hardest part about getting asked a question like that is that, I like to answer it in as much detail as possible, but there's so many things that are like, oh, I don't know if this is going to happen, or like, when will this, when's, future music coming out, or when's this happening, when's that? I don't know. I mean, I just love to be on the road playing music. That's my strength as an artist, and that's my kind of what drives me, is getting to meet people when we're traveling. Um, you know, it's amazing how small a country Canada is when you meet people. It's an extremely large country when you're touring, because it's, long, long drives. And we're based in Manitoba, and we play the Western Prairies. That's kind of our main footprint. So Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, but it's a lot of Alberta. And I mean, I love Alberta. I've always, that's always been kind of my second home kind of thing. And so we're whatever 22 hours into Grand Prairie or something like that, turn around and drive back 22 hours back home, and everyone's like, "Hey, what's it like being a country singer?" And I'm like, "Well, I see Highway 1 and I see Highway 16 for far too many hours of my summertime." But I love that I get to do that, and the family that surrounds me and in my band are just some of the greatest individuals that are on the face of this planet. And at the same point, like, just such a great group of highly skilled musicians that we are literally a family. And we'll be on the bus. We typically leave on Thursday nights so we can get to sound check midday on Friday, and then play on Saturday, and then drive home on Sunday. And when we travel, like, I cook for the guys every time we go, so I've got my smoker running all the time. And I'll do briskets, or I'll do pork shoulders, or I'll do whatever, and I'll just put that food on the bus for us to kind of like live on while we're traveling. And the guys love it, I love it. And it's just this great tight knit group of 6, 7, sometimes we bring a driver with us, 7 uh just prairie kids
Yeah.
getting out and making those connections, those meaningful moments with people. And when the people kind of stream your songs, and they run up to the stage and they sing along with you, and I'm like, I've never even been to this town before, I know nobody here, and yet there's people here that are just going crazy for this song that I wrote. And I don't take that lightly. I mean, I understand that um working in the music business, you've got a finite time where you get to go and make these
Hmm.
connections with people. And my goal has always been to be on the prairies, to be playing in Western Canada. My goal was to be I wanted to be the rodeo band in Manitoba. And then
Hmm.
my stretch goal was, well, let's be the rodeo band in Western Canada. And then, this year we're, not only like getting to headline, Manitoba's pro rodeo at the in Morris, Manitoba. We'll be back there again this year. We get to play Country Fest with support of Diamond Rio and Clint Black this summer. So that's my Manitoba contingent. But, last year we got tapped on the shoulder. We got to go play the Chinook Breakfast at the Calgary Stampede. We got to play at the Calgary
Hmm.
Stampede. We got to play the Canadian Finals Rodeo. Like, it's kind of like those were my goals for playing music, and I
Mhm.
don't take it for granted for a single second that we were able to kind of deliver on that. And now we kind of take the next step forward and say, well, where do we want to go internationally, and how do we want to kind of handle that kind of thing? So
Mhm.
those are some interesting kind of planning stages that we're at now to see what happens. But in
Mhm.
the reality is, I just want to live in the moment. I can't wait until, I think our first road date outside of Manitoba is in May. So I can't wait until first weekend of May to get back on the road, fire the bus up, and just start driving with the guys. It's the I tell everybody it's the best job in the world, because every town that we go to, it's like a rodeo dance, it's a street dance, it's fireworks, it's street vendors, it's the community coming together for their annual celebration. And they've trusted me to come in and create a connection with the people. And it's the coolest job in the world when you're sitting there, beautiful prairie night, and they got the fireworks going off, and you can see the horses kind of stirring around uncomfortably underneath. And I mean, it's the neatest thing, the neatest job in the world. Love it.
Yeah.
I mean, because we never play big cities. We never play large towns. Well, I shouldn't say never, but we don't often. We prefer to stay in rural communities, agricultural based communities. So
Awesome. It sounds surreal, like to be there
that's
on
how I
their.
feel. That's how
Yeah.
I feel sometimes. Yeah, there's nothing that brings me more excitement than pulling into like a dusty rodeo grounds, knowing that we're going to be there to put on a show that night. Those are probably the shows that get me the most excited. The outdoors, the flat deck trailers, like it's not big, you know,
Yeah.
theaters and arenas. I mean, as much those are great venues to play as well, but nothing gets me more excited than pulling into a dusty rodeo ground. And it's great because there's a couple of places too where, we're going to play in Redvers, Saskatchewan this year at their ranch rodeo. And my buddies are coming out. We're going to put a team into the ranch rodeo. So we'll ride and then we'll play the rodeo dance that night. And I'm like, I feel like Chris Ledoux, like this is just exactly what I wanted my music career to be. And I'm so, so grateful for the team that works with me to sort of facilitate that.
Awesome. It's been great chatting with you. Thanks for joining me and congratulations on the new single.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.